Hello. So today I figured I would try to make a pumpkin roll because it's something I've been wanting to do for a while and I just haven't gotten around to it, and I wanted to do a video today of some sort because it's been a minute, and so I figured it would be a good time to do this. So we'll see how it goes. You know, it's not quite fall yet, but I mean it's pretty damn close. So I figured a pumpkin roll would be nice. If you've never had a pumpkin roll, it is like a sponge cake. It's a spiced sponge cake, similar to like a carrot cake in the spices that are used, but there's no carrot in it. And it's rolled up into what looks kind of like one of those Hostess ding dong thing. I think they're called ding dongs. Ho-hos. The ones that are like the Swiss roll things. It kind of looks like that, except there's no coating on the outside. And then in between the layers of the roll, it has like a cream cheese frosting type thing. It's really good if you've never had it. I only recently had it. So, but I would say if you like carrot cake, you'd probably like it because it's pretty similar. I think it's a little bit better though, but I haven't had a carrot cake in a while, so I don't know. Anyway, I figured I'd do that. I'm gonna be basing part of it on a recipe I did a long time ago. It was like a trifle, gingerbread trifle thingy. And if you don't know what a trifle is, it's kind of like a parfait. It's got layers of custard and then sometimes fruit, sometimes other things. But it's like a layered custard dessert thing. It was like supposed to be for, I think, the monthly mixers club that I used to be a part of a couple years ago. I'm pretty sure it was for that. I could be wrong. But I'll be basing part of this recipe on that because the gingerbread cake part of it was really good. So I think it would be a good base for the pumpkin roll. Hopefully I'm public. Let me make sure everything's good. It says it's public. Good. That's not what I wanted. Okay, good, and my thumbnail looks good. Alright. So, what I'm going to be using kind of as a base, or a center point to the mix, is my, I think it's called Autumn Memories. It was actually voted, I don't know if it'd be voted, I guess nominated or declared Wayne's favorite dessert recipe of last year. And it is a really good recipe and it's pretty unique. But what I'm going to be using from that is the gingerbread by Capella, possibly the pumpkin spice as like the cake base, and then the yellow cake from Jungle Flavors. So that's what I'll be using, is that. And then I was thinking about using pumpkin bread from Flavora, because I just found out I had it and I've never used it. I don't even know what pumpkin bread is. That might not work. Because the pumpkin spice from Flavora is just kind of there for a little bit of that pumpkin spice element to add to the spices that are already in the gingerbread. Pumpkin bread. Okay, the first note on here is not good for the pumpkin bread. It says it wasn't disgusting, but there's a weird flavor at 2%. Might be just a little bit too high. She said it's a spice note that's producing an off note. Another person says it's fuller than pumpkin spice. A lot of people say it's very strong. I think I'm gonna hold off on the pumpkin bread just because I don't know what it is, how it's gonna work, and I already know the pumpkin spice works at a low percentage, so I think we're just gonna stick with that. As far as how Fresh is doing, I don't know why people keep messaging me in particular. He did a live show like a week or so ago, kind of going over how he's doing. I can refer you to that. I don't really want to misspeak on his stuff. And anything medical, like, I'm not going to divulge other people's medical information. So, unless it comes directly from him to the public, I mean, that's the only thing you're going to be getting from me as far as a status update. I don't know anything outside of what he last said. I'll try to find the particular video, but I don't want to, like, again, misspeak on what he said. He's still not doing great as far as that update was concerned. And I don't think he really knows all that much more. I don't like to bug people about stuff like that because, I don't know, I feel like if I were in the same position where I was in constant pain and I did not know and nobody knew what was wrong with me, I wouldn't want people to constantly keep asking me about it. So I'm always worried that I'm gonna, like, piss somebody off by just asking too much or reminding them. Kind of similarly to, like, if someone were to pass away, like, in their family. I'm not really one to, like, immediately go, hey, like, sorry about whatever, because, again, if it were me and I only have me to go off of, I wouldn't want to constantly be reminded of, you know, whoever I lost. But I don't know. But pretty much if he's not on YouTube, he's probably not doing great. Because it takes kind of a lot for him not to be on YouTube. He almost, you know, always was on, unless he was very, you know, sick or whatever. So what I'm going to do, because I already, like, theory crafted this recipe a couple weeks ago. Just never got around to actually mixing it. It's going to be 0.75 cream cheese icing from Lorann, 0.5% of frosting from FLV. That's just going to be like the inner layer of the icing part. And then for the bread or cake part, it's going to be gingerbread by Capella at 2%, pumpkin spice from FLV at 0.3. And that's just to, again, add to the spice notes that are already in the Capella. And then yellow cake from Jungle Flavors at 1% to give, like, the cake element. Because gingerbread, I don't know if it was supposed to be like a cookie from Capella or if it was supposed to be the actual gingerbread. I don't know that I've ever actually had just gingerbread. I've always had, like, a gingerbread cookie. But neither here nor there. I think it benefits from adding the cake to give it a little bit more to make it a little less dense, I guess, and more of a cake instead of a thick cookie or a thick bread. Anyway, getting hot here again, which I do not like. I'm gonna have to turn the air on soon. And we started our bowling league again after not having bowled all summer, which is not a good idea if you're on a league or anything, to not bowl all summer, because by the time you come back, you're pretty shitty. At least that's how it's been for pretty much everyone except my brother. For whatever reason, he doesn't really seem to be that affected by it. He bowled really well last week. He did okay today. He got like a 2... I want to say it was a 260 something. But it's definitely over 200. I don't remember exactly what it was, but one of his games was damn near like perfect. Almost all strikes. It's pretty crazy. The only bad thing is it brought his average way up, so if he doesn't consistently play that well, it kind of fucks us over, because then we don't get a handicap. Like yesterday, we had no handicap against the other team because he bowled so well the previous week, and we almost always have a handicap. Alright, so that is done. And while that's sitting in there, I'm going to re-wick my RDA. I don't even remember what's in here. I have one set up specifically just for testing whatever it is, and then one I vape on, and a bunch I don't use. Oh, and I got a new chair. I don't know if you guys can notice or noticed. It looks a little different than normal. It's pretty sweet so far. I've only been using it not even a day. It has a lot of adjusting capabilities, which I like. And it's very sturdy. My other chair, which James in particular liked to make fun of me a lot about, it squeaks like every time I move, because it's old. Like, it's very, very old, my old chair, because it was it used to be an office chair, I think at my brother's work. So when they got, you know, the new chairs, they let their employees have the old ones if they wanted them. So between my dad and my brother, they snagged a bunch. And they're good chairs, it's just they're old. So they're falling apart, the little head, the armrests are falling apart, and it squeaked a lot. So this one doesn't squeak, which is nice. Okay. Yeah, I only used 0.3 of the pumpkin spice by Flavora, and combined with, well, my other recipe anyway, I don't know how it's going to act in here yet, but the other recipe had a bunch of creams in it, so it kind of mellowed out a lot of the spice. That's one thing I can recommend if something is a little bit too spice heavy, is to put, if you're able, depending on the profile, some creams in there, and it will tone it down a bit to make them a little bit more smooth and less pronounced. Also cookies, like heavy kind of flavors, will do that as well. So the yellow cake helps kind of absorb some of that spiciness. And like I said, the creams will do that. But I'm not horribly familiar with pumpkin spice by Flavora. I only successfully used it in the recipe that I'm kind of pulling from for this one. So we'll see how it works. I also, like I said, have the pumpkin bread, but from reading it, it's also really strong. And I don't know. And it smells kind of weird. I don't know that it's going to work for what I want it to do. So I'm probably not going to use that. I think the way it smells, this pumpkin bread, it smells like an actual bread, not like a cake type bread. Because, like, you know, like zucchini bread, banana bread, even though they say they're a bread, they're more like a cake. This pumpkin bread thing smells more like an actual bread that you would eat like a sandwich on, which is definitely not what I want for this recipe. So I think we're just gonna have to leave that one out. The only thing I could see for this cake so far, and I haven't tried it yet, just by looking at it, it may need more cream, but we'll see between the frostings if that is enough to kind of get it where I want it to go. Because I'm not a huge fan of pumpkin spice, I'm not gonna lie. Like, I like pumpkin pies, but other than that, like, that's about it. I don't like pumpkin lattes or whatever. Like, none of that. I don't like any of, like, the pumpkin spice flavored things. So I just don't use it very often. But I've been trying to expand my mixes as far as the type of profiles I use, because I still have tasting issues. So I'm hoping the more I expand into other profiles, the less issues I'll have, but I don't know. So if it gets much worse than it is, then I might just have to quit vaping altogether, because, like, there's just so many things I can't taste anymore. It's just very annoying. And I don't really want to vape unflavored, if I'm being completely honest. Hello, Michael. That's one good thing about mix-ins, mix-ins, is it kind of forces me to mix things that are not generally anything I would ever mix by choice. Because I only get to choose one of 4 profiles that we mix for the month. So generally, Emily likes to pick bakeries. Winstead's kind of a mix of different ones. And then James, our producer, tends to gravitate towards bakeries as well, or desserts. Me, I'm usually fruits. I try to switch it up, because I try to give like a balance of things throughout the month, so that our viewers can get a mixture of different profiles for, you know, that cycle of mixes. Plus, I just don't want to mix all bakeries in one month. It's kind of annoying, but... about to try the mix I just made, and what I just vaped was the mix for the Mix and Vixens tonight. It's pretty good, but I think it's missing just like one thing. And this pumpkin roll might need to sit for a day or so. Bakeries can, you know, need a little time. I think I should be able to gather at least if it's trash or not. I know with the original recipe, the gingerbread trifle, it did need a little bit of time for everything to smooth out, the spices to kind of, you know, get a little bit diluted. But nothing crazy. I tend not to make mixes that need a whole lot of steeping time because I know I don't like to wait for my stuff, so I imagine most people don't either, especially now. Back in the day it was more common to have to wait for everything, but not really anymore. Alright, about to try this pumpkin roll, see how good it is or how horrible. I keep forgetting what I was doing. What I wanted to do. Okay, moment of truth. It smells interesting. I mostly smell the Lorann icing. And I'll go over exactly what I mixed again, just so everyone knows. So I said it like at the very beginning, but I don't even know if anyone's watching at that point. So this pumpkin roll has 0.75 Lorann's cream cheese icing, FLV frosting at 0.5% for the cream frosting layer that's inside, Capella gingerbread 2%, FLV pumpkin spice 0.3%, and yellow cake from Jungle Flavors at 1% for the spiced cake part of it. And keep in mind, for people that are not familiar with me, I tend to mix lower than most people. I don't know if it's honestly because I'm sensitive. I think it more so has to do with the wattage and temperature that I vape at. Is pretty low. And if you vape lower, flavors tend to be a little bit more pronounced, in my opinion. I've tried doing like the whole higher wattage thing. I can't taste anything at that point. It just tastes hot. So yeah, I just don't like vaping that way. I think it's also because I've just been vaping so long that back in the day we didn't really have super hot vapes. Like it was pretty much 3.7 volts and that was it. Well, it's definitely not pumpkin roll. It's too gingerbread heavy. Yeah. It's not bad by any means. It's just not a pumpkin roll at all. It's like pretty much a gingerbread cookie with a little bit of icing on it. The cake's not pronounced enough and the frosting is barely there. Trying to think of how I could fix it. Definitely the Capella needs the gingerbread needs to be brought way down. Probably at least by half. Hello, Adam. Yeah. I don't know. I've always preferred a cooler vape. It's just how I've always been. I've tried it hotter. I just don't like it. For some mixes, I will turn it up a little bit. But even then, it's like 40 watts. It's pretty much my max, and I do not generally go that high. Alright, so what I'm going to attempt to do is cut down the Capella by half. And I think it needs a cream too. I'm not sure which one. It might just need cream by FLV. Might also help tone down that spice a little bit too. The original recipe had a lot of creams in it. It had FLV cream, whipped cream, vanilla pudding. Vanilla pudding also might work. I might just steal the cream from the original. So it's going to be pretty much the original recipe with only a couple things. Hello, Live Lounge. Or Live Lounge, that's probably what that's supposed to be. A lot of people I've never seen before, so that's cool. Alright, so yeah, I think I'm gonna cream the hell out of this because it needs something. I don't even know if this frosting really needs to be in here, to be honest. Doesn't really seem to be doing much, because Lorann's cream cheese icing is pretty sweet in and of itself. I think the frosting in here that I put is me trying to avoid adding a bunch of creams to it. But I don't know that I can avoid it. So I'm going to do the FLV cream and the vanilla pudding by FLV as well. Both at 0.5%. Everything else is going to be the same except Capella Gingerbread is going to be cut down in half. We'll see how this goes. So I have to grab cream and vanilla pudding. But it should be quick. One of the good things about FLV and Wonder Flavors in my setup is that they're all on those platform shelving thingies in alphabetical order. So generally they're the easiest to find. I redid like those bottom two shelves right there and below about a couple weeks ago because Wonder Flavors had a bunch of new flavors that I never put into alphabetical order like they're supposed to be. and Flavora had a few as well, so they needed to be reorganized. One bad thing about having that kind of setup is when you get new flavors, you kind of have to like shift everything over if you want them to be in alphabetical order, which is kind of tedious, especially if there's a lot of them, and there are. But when you're going to find stuff, it's really nice and easy to find everything. Alright, so let's try this again. I'm gonna give it one more go, because it is entirely possible that it just needs to sit, but I really feel like the first version, like sitting, was not going to benefit it enough in and of itself. But yeah, well, the funny thing is, there's only certain companies that are organized like that. I don't have the room, unfortunately, to have nothing but those shelves, and it's expensive. Like that white shelf by itself was like, I think $70, which wasn't too bad. And then, but those little acrylic racks were like $14 and up per thing. So if you times that by 6, plus the cost of the actual shelving, and then extrapolate that to how many flavors I have, it's a lot. Plus, like I said, I just don't have the room to have a bunch of those shelves everywhere. So for now, it's going to be like a limited amount of organization, I guess. Alright, so I need to concentrate a little bit. So start with cream, Lorann Cream. And the Lorann cream cheese icing. Gingerbread we're not doing. Pumpkin spice. Yeah, the racks are nice, but they're just expensive. Lumi has a nice setup. I think she had the right way to go about it. She got like DVD shelving, and it worked out well for her. Back in the day, like especially Addie Tooney would make fun of me because I would have nothing but those plastic drawers, and I'd just be digging for flavors for like half the show because they were just in a little drawer, not organized at all. I still have that situation, but at least now those drawers, for the most part, are organized at least by the company. Whereas back in the day, everything was just in those drawers. And it made finding things pretty tedious and time consuming. Especially if you're trying to do it live. Like, if I'm just, like, messing around, like, doing it myself, I don't really care how long it takes. But if you're on, you know, a show, and people are waiting on you to do things, it's kind of annoying. And then making fun of you as you do it. But it was part of like all the like joking around about it that encouraged me to be more organized with my things. So I guess you can think of it positively in that way. Well, I'm not in the UK, I'm in the US. And those acrylic shell little rack thingies, for whatever reason, are just ridiculous. And even £6 here, like converted, would be about what I paid for them. Like some of them I was able to get a little bit cheaper, but like the median price was around $14, sometimes more. I have not been able to find them any cheaper. Yeah. I try to be interactive with my live chat because otherwise, what's the point of being live? But it is difficult. There's plenty of times where I've screwed up doing something because I was just talking. But, I mean, it is what it is. My hair looks a hot mess. I tried redoing it because I have a specific image in my head of like what I want, and this ain't it. But yesterday it looks worse on camera for some reason. It doesn't look this bad in real life. I think it's probably just the lighting, the way it's hitting it. But I did another bleach wash on it to try to strip the color that's down here, and my roots ended up being like hot yellow, and the bottom was pretty like red. So it just reminded me of like McDonald's because it had like the red and the yellow. I don't like red and yellow together. I think it looks weird. So like, okay, I have to fix this. So then I tried to put like a shadow root with like purple at the root, and then the rest with the color I wanted it to be. And for whatever reason, it just would not take to my hair. So like it just like certain parts got like more of the color than others, some of them not at all. And then my roots, which like I said are not really showing true to what they look like, they're like kind of have like a little tinge of purple. You can kind of see it there, but like it's supposed to be like straight up purple, but it only like it almost kind of toned it, which was weird. And I know like most of the guys probably aren't going to know what toning is, but toning, you typically use like a purple or a blue. I think it's usually purple, to get like brassiness out of hair, like if you bleach it, because when you bleach it, it starts breaking down the pigmentation in your hair, and if you don't break it down completely to like where all the pigments are stripped, it tends to be like an orange or a red or a yellow. And if you get like this really ugly, which what I had yesterday, this like orange yellow color, you use a toner that's like purple to counteract the yellowness in it to make it more pleasing to look at, less brassy and orangish. So I think that's what the purple ended up doing, because it did not turn out purple. It turned out mostly just toned, which is good because it's better than what it was, but I don't know. My fault for trying to do too much, because it looked fine before I started messing with it. I really didn't need to do another bleach wash again, but I don't know. Trying to get all the red out of my hair, and it's not really working. Well, I mean, it's some female problems. Like the problems that, I'll just speak for myself. Problems I have as a female are problems I impose on myself. Like, I didn't need to dye my hair. I didn't need to mess with it. Like, it was fine. But I decided I wanted to do more to it, and then it just made it worse. But I just did it yesterday, and it's demi-permanent hair color, so it does fade as you wash it. So I'm hoping that after a couple washes, the weird purple, because that's really the only thing that bothers me, is just like the weird random purple parts to it, because it's just random and it looks weird. So I'm hoping those will just wash out and then I'll be fine. And if it doesn't, then well, I don't know what I'm gonna do. Alright, let's try this revised pumpkin roll. If this doesn't work, like I said, I think I'm pretty much done, and just gonna sit and think about its life choices for a week or so. Or it'll just be a gingerbread cookie because that's what it tastes like, which is fine, just not really what I was wanting. The vapors smell really nice, so that's good. That's one good thing about vaping bakery types, is the vapors tend to be pretty nice, whereas some random other profiles can kind of smell nasty, or just not really at all. Like my fruits, I don't really smell my fruits at all. But like acai tea, which I really like, by FLV, my dad hates it because he says it smells bad, like the vapor smells bad. I don't smell it because, like I said, I just, for whatever reason, I just don't smell the vapors for the most part, unless it's like a honey type flavor. Those I can smell, and I won't vape them if they have that off note, but for the most part I just don't notice my own stuff. So essentially I try not to vape the acai around anyone but me, because I've had more than one complaint about the way it smells. I think that Capella gingerbread just kind of needs to go. It's not the right mixture of spices for it. But I can't really think of what else I would use. Again, it's not bad. It's just, it's a gingerbread cookie type thing. It's not like a pumpkin roll at all. The cinnamon is too pronounced, and something else is too pronounced. I don't know. I wonder if vape train carrot cake would work. Because I know there's a carrot cake I don't like. I don't remember which one it is. Not because it's bad, just because it doesn't taste like carrot cake. Let's see if I made notes. Did I? So it looks like one-on-one carrot cake I liked. And vape train I liked, but I made notes that it just doesn't taste like carrot cake to me. Brown sugar and buttery cake. So it doesn't sound like it would have enough spices in it. So maybe one-on-one carrot cake. I have no notes for Wonder Flavors, so I don't know what I thought of that, if I even tried it. There's not a whole lot of notes about Wonder Flavors carrot cake either. But it's weird because, like, someone said it has a lemon note in it. Lemon in a carrot cake is strange, and it definitely would not fit with what I want to do. So, no to that. I kind of want to do one more, because this gingerbread is just not going to work. Alright. So we're going to scratch most of this. And it turns out the frosting was doing something because it tasted better with the version with it. So we're going to keep that and use carrot cake by 101. What percentage? 2? Do 3. My total percentage is 555. 5.55. I will need to get more hot water though, because my hot water is not so hot anymore, and I need to get more flavors. I need just the one-on-one carrot cake. So I'll be right back. Alrighty then. Now I have to dig through these one-on-ones. Oh, it's right at the top. That was lucky. Smells like it has a little bit of frosting in it, but my notes say that I didn't taste that, I think. Smells like it though. Alright. The little scale thing has been acting up. So, third and final version. We're going to do carrot cake 101, 3%. We're going to keep the cream cheese icing from Lorann's at 0.75, frosting from FLV at 0.5, pumpkin spice 0.3, yellow cake 1% by Jungle Flavors. And if this still isn't it, then oh well. I'm not mixing anymore. It's hot as balls. By L, Triple L. I'm gonna call you Triple L. Pumpkin Spice. Yellow cake. And I'm gonna have to change my cotton because that gingerbread is just too strong. I was gonna buy more VG the other day because I thought it was lower than it was, and for a gallon it was $44. Mind you, I'm pretty sure it's double what I paid last time, but I could be wrong. I probably should look to be sure, but I was like, yeah, I think I'm good. Oh, that's who they are? Because I saw the Nature's Oil, but I'm like, I don't like buying stuff from like random places. But I definitely bought from Bulk Apothecary before. They're actually local to me. And their stuff is fine. It's a little bit thinner, I think, than the VG. I know there's a difference in viscosity. I don't remember if it's thicker or thinner than what I usually get, which is the Essential Depot. I don't remember, but I remember it's fine. Like, it's perfectly fine. So, if that's who they are, then I feel comfortable buying from them. I just didn't know that's who they were. Yeah. I just like Essential Depot because I can get it off Amazon and it's quick. With the Bulk Apothecary, because I used to buy direct from them, you have to have like a minimum of so much money for the free shipping. And sometimes I just don't need to spend that much. And then if you were to actually pay just for regular shipping, not get the free shipping, it's not worth doing. Because the shipping is ridiculous. It's pretty much like double the cost of the product itself. So unless I'm spending, you know, X amount of money, it's just not worth it to buy it direct from them. Plus, you know, Amazon is just quick. I know it's not the best place to buy from for maybe ethical reasons, but I still buy a lot from there. I'm not gonna lie. I'm still not going out like normal, and I probably won't for a while. So I pretty much get everything shipped to me if I can. I go grocery shopping a couple times a month, but that's it. Alright. Is this ready yet? I still have a good amount of VG, it's just, it looked lower than it was. because I have a big gallon of it. So it's not like dire or anything, it's just something I was thinking about. I'm kind of paranoid about everything. I'd rather have more than what I need than not enough, especially when it's not just me that I have to worry about. Never heard of Vapor Lab. That is a very good price though. I remember back in the day I used CVS glycerin once because that's all I could find. We're talking a long time ago. It's definitely not worth buying from CVS. Little tiny, like 180 ml or something like that. It was like 10 bucks. It was ridiculous. But back then I was also not vaping all that much because I was vaping on the pro tanks and stuff. Any liquid would last you forever in those things. At least they did for me. Alright. Yeah, it's still a no. So this is gonna steep. Adding the cream cheese icing, at least at that amount, might have been a bad idea. Because like I said, I can smell a cream cheese icing when I smell the carrot cake itself. So I think adding the extra, especially that much extra, it just was too much. I'm getting a little bit too much funk from like the cream cheese type thing. Borderline butyric, which I do not like. And I also think that the pumpkin spices might be clashing with whatever spice is in the carrot cake. But mainly it's the extra ice, the extra cream cheese note that is not very pleasant right now. It's like super strong. It's also not spicy enough, like the, I don't know. I might have to try the actual thing again to get a better idea of what spices I need. So it's definitely like a spiced cake of some sort, or I guess I could just look up how you make it. But whatever spices it needs is not what's in there right now in this mix. So I'm going to be hopping off at 2, so it sounds like a good time, and I'm done. I'm not mixing anymore. I think 3 failures is enough. But I like leaving it like I said, rounded times. So cinnamon, cloves, pumpkin, so there's not a whole lot of spice in it, I guess. So the pumpkin spice might not even need to be a thing. What is even pumpkin spice? I don't even know what it is. Pumpkin spice, I guess, recipe. So it's cinnamon and ground ginger. That's it. Oh, nutmeg and cloves. So maybe the cinnamon and ginger just aren't needed. Stop it. Get out of here. So it just needs cinnamon and cloves. Interesting. I don't know if I'll be able to do that. Maybe a small amount of VTA holiday spice? Because I don't think that has ginger in it. If I even still have it, I might have gotten rid of it. So I don't see it. And I hated that flavor so much. Hi, Fresh. I do not have VSO mints. I don't even know what mints is. It sounds like I might have to get it. I think I do have do I have VSO pumpkin? I think I do. Because it doesn't need pumpkin in it too, technically. Yeah. Someone was asking about you earlier, Fresh, wanted to know how you were doing. I don't know if I don't think they're still here, but. Yeah, so I guess if I'm going to make this pumpkin roll properly, I'm going to probably have to do it from scratch. I'm not going to be able to use any kind of like definitely not gingerbread, because there's apparently no ginger in it, which makes sense. And carrot cake ain't going to work either. So, yeah. Oh, holiday spice. Yeah, I'm pretty sure I got rid of the Vape Train holiday spice. I hated it. I absolutely hated it. Probably because of the clove. Because I'm not a fan of clove. I only can tolerate clove if it's buried in stuff. Like gingerbread cookies and stuff. And some spice cookies have clove in it. And like pumpkin pie has clove in it. But it's got like enough other stuff to like bury it, so I'm fine with it. Oh, bakery spice blend. Is that what it was? Might have been that. Cinnamon, anise, brown sugar, and vanilla. So that wouldn't even worked anyway. Flora ginger snap. Well, I need something that doesn't have ginger in it. It just needs cinnamon and clove. Well, might have to do a V2 one day, but it ain't gonna be today. See, this one, this different recipe says to use pumpkin pie spice, but she also put coconut on it, or what looks like coconut. It might be powdered sugar. So I guess there's different ways to make it. I don't know, bro. I do think adding actual pumpkin would help it. I don't know, dude. Anyone got questions or nothing? Because like I said, I'm about to leave in like a minute. Because it's 2 o'clock. Yeah, I know people miss you fresh because, like, a lot of people ask about you. Pretty much every time I go live, people ask, people DM me. And I just tell them, look, he did an update on a show recently. Refer to that. I don't feel right speaking on other people's medical status and general being. So. Alright, well, I'm gonna head out. Mix and Vixens is on tonight in approximately, well, actually pretty much exactly 4 hours if we're on time, which is kind of rare. We're usually a few minutes behind. But check us out, Mix and Vixens. We're doing a cupcake with marshmallows and there's little Teddy Grahams on it. Should be interesting. But yeah, that's what we're doing. And yeah, stay safe out there. And yeah, that's all I got. Bye.